Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a new lecture in your course, Linux for Absolute Beginners by Avionics. My name is Ahmed. In this section, we are discussing the basic interaction with Linux and the programs that get bundled with a default Linux installation. We're going to have a look at web browsers for a start. Linux supports a large set of browsers. Actually, almost all browsers on the market are supported, except, of course, the Microsoft Internet Explorer, which is a proprietary browser supported only by Microsoft Windows systems because it gets installed with the Windows installation itself. But other than that, all other browsers are supported. Nearly all of them are supported. At least the well-known types are supported, like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and by the way, Mozilla Firefox is the default browser for the Ubuntu or for Linux in general, and Opera. Let's have a look here at our system again. This is Firefox. We have already seen it before. And we also have here a program called Epiphany Web Browser. It is now called Web, just Web, which is a lightweight browser. And we also have Chromium, which is an open source version of the famous Google Chrome browser. But since Google Chrome browser is a proprietary one, this one is a variant that is an open source web browser, so its code can be modified and redistributed, as we have mentioned in a previous section. And you can also download Google Chrome. So it has been downloaded, and notice here the easiness with which you can install third-party software. Now this has been downloaded from outside the repository. We're going to discuss repositories at the end of this section. So we are downloading from a third-party vendor here, which is Chrome. It is not from Ubuntu, it is from Google Chrome. And you can just install using the Ubuntu software program. It is going to install the software for you without you having to just enter the password of the root in order to start installation. You don't have to go to any text-based procedures in order to install software. It's going to be installed using the Ubuntu software program. And once installed, you are gonna see this icon turning to be called remove. So you can install and uninstall the software from this Ubuntu Software Center. And once you go to the Software Center and type Chrome, you will find that it is right beside the Chromium web browser. And you also have some less known web browsers, not as well known as Chrome and Firefox and Opera. You have something like Conqueror, and this is used in KDE environments. And you can also have something called Lynx. And Lynx is useful for testing websites because this is a text-based web browser. It can be used to test websites, like for example when you are inside a text environment. So let's get to our terminal, and we are going to install Lynx to show you how it can be used. apt-get install Lynx. This is a program that is used to install software. And I have typed my root password, and it's telling me that it's gonna install 1 megabyte of archives. I press yes, and now Lynx has been installed. And this is another way to launch programs. We have learned that launching a program is by double-clicking its icon here, or in the context menu, or in a panel like this, or from the search box here. But also you can launch programs the old-fashioned way by just typing the program name like this. So I'll type Lynx, and Lynx is a text-based browser, as you can see here. I can type, for example, I can type Shift-G for Go, and I can type here, for example, www.google.com, press enter, and as you can see, this is the text-based version of Google. Of course, it sounds nothing like the GUI mode Google, but this might become handy when, for example, you are working as a web developer and you want to develop applications or web applications that are accessible to those people who are having visual problems and they use text readers in order to browse the internet. So if the site can be viewed by a text-based website, by a text-based browser like Lynx, it can work correctly with text readers. Now, our next topic here is the email clients. And an email client is defined as a program that allows you to connect to your inbox to read emails as well as send and receive emails using your email server. So if you are working with Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo Mail or any other of those free email providers, or if you are working with your corporate's email server, sometimes you can have an email client. Some providers like Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft, for example, provide a web-based email. You can just launch your browser and log into your email account from that browser. They provide something called a cloud-based email service. But in corporates, more often than not, you'll have to use an email client in order to access your email server. So if you are using Linux, you have a number of email clients that can be used for this purpose. So for example, okay, let's close this Lynx browser and close the Chrome browser. Don't need it now. Okay, Linux has a number, or Ubuntu has a number of email clients. Let's say we want to have all the email clients that are installed. As we learned, we go to the search and we type email. As you can see here, I have two email programs or email clients. I have Evolution and I have Thunderbird. And Evolution, it's gonna launch now, okay. Evolution can be used to configure your email server. You write here your email, for example, Ahmed and Ahmed. For example, let's say that this is my email address. Okay, an organization, let's say Ideonics. And I'm gonna click next. It's going to look up my email default settings using my domain name. So here I've used Gmail, so it automatically grabbed my receiving and sending email settings. These settings are provided by your email providing servers like Google, for example, but Evolution is intelligent enough to grab those settings from the domain like Gmail. So here you are all set. You just have to click next, and this will make you access your Gmail account using Evolution. Of course, this email is not mine, just giving it as an example. So it won't work, but you get the point. And Thunderbird is going to work the same way. Thunderbird is developed by Mozilla, and it is closely related with Mozilla Firefox. And the same as Evolution, it is going to download the incoming and outgoing email settings for Gmail, because I have used here Gmail as my domain name. Okay, so it has automatically received those settings, and you are ready now to create an email account, and you're ready now to use Thunderbird in order to access your Gmail account. You can put here any domain name you have. It has a large database of different mail servers, so Gmail, Hotmail, Outlook, or Yahoo Mail, any of the well-known email addresses, email services will be understood by Thunderbird. And of course, you can manually configure your settings if you want to. For example, if you have a mail service that is not well known to Thunderbird, or if you want to manually configure those settings for any reason, for example, configure the server name or the port or anything, you can do this from this menu here. You can change all the settings you want to, and that will let you access your email via Thunderbird. We also have Kmail for the KDE environments, and Mutt. And Mutt is a text-based email that becomes important when you want to view the email that is sent to you on the machine. I'll tell you how in a moment. Just let's install Mutt. apt-get install Mutt. Enter the password. Press yes. It's going to get 2 megabytes of data. And as you can see here, it is asking me to configure my mail server, and if I did not configure my mail server, it is going to be used for my local email, and that is exactly what I want. I want no configuration, and that is exactly what I want. I want it to be on local only. Okay, and okay, press OK like this. Now, Linux machines send emails internally to the administrator, to root. These emails contain information about the system, for example, like the routine checks on the system and whether your file systems are full, or if something happens, or somebody were trying to break into the system, enter the password several times wrong or anything. These are sent through internal emails to the root user, and optionally it can be sent also to other users. So let's log in as root. We are now the root user. Don't worry, we're going to study users in a later section in this course. The root user is just the administrator of the system. It's just like the administrator account in Windows. And if I type Mutt, as you can see here, it's going to create a mailbox for me. And here I will receive all the mail messages that the system can send for me. If there are mail messages here, you can view them. You can even reply to them. And all these mail messages are internal. And as we said, Mutt can be configured to access outside mail, like Gmail, for example. But of course, if you want to use a mail client for an outside mail, you better off use the Evolution or Thunderbird. But Mutt can be used internally, as we said. for the internal messages that the system sends to the administrator. Now let's talk about Office programs. All users need some sort of Office programs, and when we say Office, we mean this suite that contains a word processor, a spreadsheet, a presentation, optionally a database application, and so on. So in Microsoft Windows, for example, you have the Microsoft Office suite that contains all those programs. In Linux, previously, we used to have something called OpenOffice or Apache OpenOffice. This is an Office suite that contained a program called Writer for a word processor, a Calc for spreadsheet, Impress for presentations, Base for database, and Draw for vector graphics, and Math for equations. But recently, a subset of this project, or a forked version of this project, a fork here means just another version of the project that has been developed by a different group of developers, but it shares most of the code. A subset of this project titled LibreOffice was created. It offered applications with the same names and functions as the above ones. It provided the Writer, the Calc, the Impress, Base, and so on. And it is currently the default Office suite in Linux. So if you have a look here, those programs that we have previously had a look at are part of the LibreOffice. You can see here LibreOffice 5. This is the word processor. As you can see here, it provides a rich set of functions that can be used by any word processor. We also have a spreadsheet called Calc. Same thing, it provides you with a spreadsheet, much the same like the Microsoft Excel. It has a lot of functions here that can use to create spreadsheets, the Impress presentations for presentations. And we also have other programs that are not here in this bar, like for example Base. As you can see here, it looks quite like Microsoft Access. As you can see here, you can create databases and work with them the way you like. You have Math, and Math can be used to write mathematical equations. As you can see here, all sorts of equations can be used. Okay. And Draw is a little like Microsoft Paint if you have worked with it before. You can create vector graphics like this. Okay. So all these come bundled with a standard installation of Ubuntu. You don't have to install it, you don't have to download it, or even pay for it. It just gets bundled with the default installation of Ubuntu. And LibreOffice and OpenOffice in general uses a format for documents called the ODF, which stands for Open Document Format. This is the standard format of documents, and this is an industry standard format. It is not a proprietary format, and it is portable among major Office applications. So if you create an ODF document in LibreOffice, it can be viewed and edited by Microsoft Word, and also LibreOffice understands the formats used by other Office suites like Microsoft Office, for example. So if you create a document using Word, you can view and edit this document in LibreOffice. However, not all functionality that can be present in a document can be ported safely into LibreOffice. So for example, if you use some of the complex functionality of Microsoft Word and created a very complex document, porting it to LibreOffice may not make it viewable or editable the way it was in Microsoft Word. So this is one of the problems of portability between proprietary formats and open source. Now in the next lecture, we're going to have a look at the rest of the bundled applications, and we're going to start with the multimedia. So stay tuned.